podcast yet?
No, I have not. I haven't listened yet. I definitely want to check it out. To hear what he's talking about, and
Do you think it's
um,
fair that some of the crap he's been getting about it, one way or the other? I don't care what your politics
um,
are, whatever the hell it is.
no,
I'm not
I
saying you personally or me personally. I'm just saying in general. I mean, I think it's what the hell, man. Let him have some fun.
Well, I think it's fair that he's being criticized because he's putting it out there. Like, if you're going to put yourself out, your political leanings, whichever way it is,
He's a big boy.
especially
He
in
can
this day
handle it.
and age. And I was actually having a Twitter conversation with a couple of people yesterday about this. I don't feel bad for him for, the crap that he's getting, not because of his political leanings, because if you're going to put it out there, you have to expect it because that's just the way it is, right now in you know, our society. Politics is just like a ticking time bomb. So if you're going to put stuff out there, and he does it in a trolling manner, to get people going, and he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
So, I don't feel bad for him, but I also don't think he needs me to feel bad for him
No.
because, he's a big boy, and I don't think he's really offended, by these people, who are coming back and attacking him. I think he gets off on it and finds it amusing. So, he 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 brings it upon himself, so I don't feel bad for it. But at the same time, I don't think he really needs anybody to defend him because I really don't think it bothers him.
All
If
right.
that makes sense. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Like I feel the same way, man. Like I said, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's
and like I said, it has nothing to do with his politics. What I'm saying. I'm not even bringing it into it. If you're going to sort of put yourself out there and put out your political leanings, you're going to get blowback. And you see it with everybody. You see, LeBron James does it, and he gets a ton of hate. And he's leaning the other way politically. So, if you're an athlete and you're going to put yourself out there, you're going to get that hate, and you probably expect it, and that's fine if that's the way you feel and you want to put it out there.
and
Great, good
it's
for you.
yeah.
That's what makes this country so great, and freedom of speech, and the people have the freedom of speech to criticize you for that. So there's consequences to your speech sometimes, and you take the criticism, and that's it. So yeah, I do want to listen because I think he is a character. And I'd like to see what I think he's having Kenny Albert on in the next episode, and I like Kenny, so I'm interested in listening to that as well. But yeah, I haven't heard. Have you listened?
No, not yet. I want to get around and check it out. I mean, it's like anything else, man. What I was going to say with those examples that you're giving. I mean, even more so now because LeBron's not on the court and Tony's not on the rink. It just gets over amplified now. More than anything. With just the current situation right now. But yeah, it's like anything. I mean, I want to get around to it. I mean, I haven't even listened to. I haven't really listened through Sean Avery. I don't get around to. I think me and you have talked about this too. I mean, putting this together with everything that we do outside of this, it's tough to just kind of to lock in to hear whatever everybody else is doing too. But it's a guy it's a young kid that's on our team. And like I said, he's a big personality and everything else. So, yeah, we'll definitely check it out. I don't know if any fans are listening right now, if they've checked it out too. But it's interesting.
I was listening to the Avery podcast, and we had talked about that a bunch. But I haven't listened in a while because he had an episode that was literally like one big like infomercial for him going on Cameo. You ever hear that thing, Cameo?
Yes.
So it was all about how awesome he is at Cameo, but it was basically just like, an advertisement for him being on Cameo so he can make money on it. It was, I'm
Yeah.
listening to this thing like, does he think we're stupid? Like he was trying to turn it into like a show, but all it was like one big advertisement to make him, and I haven't listened since. Because
Gotcha.
I was so sort of disgusted because his other episodes were great. I thought they were funny and he did a good job. And then it was almost like the sellout episode. Like I'm like, what is this? I'm like, this is terrible. It's basically one big infomercial about himself. So I actually stopped listening.
Well,
to
it's
him.
challenging. I mean, even guys like us, there's no games. So
No,
I
I
mean,
get it, but this
no,
was
I mean,
early on.
Yeah, but I'm excluding a guy like Sean Avery. He's out of the game. He could talk, and
Yeah.
he could do whatever he wants. I'm talking like guys like us. Primarily this podcast is built around gameplay,
Yeah.
and the players and everything. So everybody knows who's been listening to us. And again, we always thank everybody for downloading and listening to the archives and everything else. For us to come on here and just to kind of go through the motions, that's not something that me and Kevin want to do. Obviously, getting back on tonight, it's we took another couple weeks off for the right reasons, because it's just been chaotic out there, and you just don't want to disrespect what's happening in our country and locally and everything else. So it's not really just feeling good about talking about sports and like what you said earlier, Kevin, like there's more important things going out there. So.
Well, yeah, and I think this show is used as a distraction to some of that, but I think there's times where you shouldn't have a distraction, like where you need to be focused maybe on what's happening. And I think that was one of the reasons we didn't want to do the show the last 2 weeks, because there were important things that were going on in this country and important conversations that needed to be had. Whereas, us acting like, us two knuckleheads talking about, hockey was, not, appropriate and, took away from some serious matters. But, as that stuff is not that it's going away but as you're seeing some meaningful sort of legislation being put out there and hopefully some things, enacted, we can maybe talk a little hockey, act like a little bit like knuckleheads now, after, some real serious discussions needed to have happen.
Nah, it's all good. Well, look, man, it's been great to come back and fire this up again with you this week there, buddy, and we'll, what we'll do, I guess what we'll do is we'll tell everybody that's listening, we're going to wait. And let's make sure there's no earthquake or
God, I don't even know what's going to happen this weekend.
Like North Korea and South Korea aren't getting along right now for some reason. So India and China having some problems. So we'll check in with everybody next week.
Those murder hornets are going to come back or something.
Oh my God. Oh man. But we'll find out. And I did bring it up. Yes, it looks like Vegas is one of the hub spots. I apologize for myself not knowing that earlier. But
it's all right. We're all a little rusty, Paulie.
Yeah,
we're all a little rusty.
But anyway, there's something to look forward to. That'll be what we'll be doing here on Go Rangers Radio. We'll be just basically following along what's going on with the Rangers. Maybe next week we'll have our greatest memories at the Nassau Coliseum as Ranger fans. Maybe, KD? What do you think about that, too?
Oh, yeah. I think my
as we say goodbye,
the asbestos raining down on me at the top of the stands there. The water leaking through the roof into my beer.
Little kumbaya, the Meadowbrook Parkway's all backed up. We'll get that chant going there. All these Ranger Islander memories of the Nassau Coliseum. What a shame, man. I don't know, man.
And like I said, I do root for, because of the rivalry and stuff. I've said it on the show. I say it on Twitter all the time. A Ranger Islander game at the Coliseum, there's nothing better. There's not, because it's loud in there. It's sort of the old barn. It's 50-50. At the Garden, it's more Ranger fans, so you don't have that 50-50. And I just think it's pandemonium in the stands at the Coliseum for Ranger Island. I mean, everyone is fighting, yelling at this brawl. I mean, it is. It'll be missed, growing up on Long Island, being a Ranger fan and going to games there, Rangers versus Islanders. To me, there's no better game, in-person sporting experience than Ranger Islanders at the Coliseum. I mean, to me, it doesn't get better than that. And I know we have a lot of younger Ranger fans where the Islander Ranger rivalry isn't as big to them as it may be to us, Paulie, because we grew up with it when, during its sort of heyday. But, those experiences, those Ranger Islander games that I went to were nuts. I mean, it was intense on the ice as well as in the stands. I mean, you weren't sure if you're wearing your Ranger jersey, if you were going to get like sucker punched or something, I just feel like you didn't get that type of atmosphere, or I've never felt it at Islander Ranger games at the Garden to be that intense as they were at the Coliseum. So, we joke, but, I will miss, Ranger Islander games there.
Yeah, hey man, look at
Am I off base? Am I off base with that or no?
No, you're right. And I, as I'm listening to you, I'm kind of getting a little bent out of shape because I'm thinking of obviously Mika scoring that overtime goal and these two young Ranger and Islanders teams, the way they've been playing each other, obviously, and obviously the last month or so before the season shut down, you could kind of see a new young rivalry coming back, and the Coliseum, those games being played at the Coliseum again was a big part of that, and that no doubt was going to be a stepping stone into the Belmont Arena. And, so that would have been another year next year in the Coliseum before the new arena's built. And watching these two young teams, we joke about the Isles, but you got to give them a lot of credit, obviously, what they've done here the last, I guess the second year with Barry here. And they were struggling, obviously. But their future was looking really good, obviously, with the organization getting solidified, the new arena happening. And as far as Rangers and Islanders, it was starting to build again. And, like I said, you bring up a good point. And, yeah, I guess it's frustrating. To me, can I say I'm not surprised? I mean, you knew the Coliseum was going to go anyway. How it was going to survive, I don't know, obviously, with COVID right now. What I don't understand is, and I don't want to go way off into a tangent here about it, but what baffles me is billionaires. Like, he couldn't have sat on this for one more year? I mean, obviously, no matter how much money you have, it's definitely not a good business thing. I'm sure it wasn't making that much money to begin with. And obviously, you're... I don't know. Could he have waited a couple more months to find out where things were going, and maybe they come back next year? But I guess...
I don't know if you've seen the end of it, though, because they're looking for investors, right? I mean, it's closed sort of indefinitely, if they could find...
some rich-ass people here in New York and Long Island. Man.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, I think there might be somebody who could, like Wong did. He stepped up to the plate, when the Islanders needed him. And, is there another sort of, rich, person on Long Island who wants to step up to keep the Coliseum there? Now, the problem is that you won't have the Islanders because they're moving. So now, you get the Coliseum. What are you getting? It's not going to be a premier concert, location anymore.
Buy it for a year. A 1-year lease.
But so yeah, whatever. But you talk about the Zibanejad goal. I mean, that's a great moment of the season. That's one of the top that goal, that overtime goal.
Guess what I'm watching? Guess what I'm watching when we're done with this show? I mean, firing that goal up.
And if you listen to the crowd, I mean, the crowd goes nuts.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
And that's what made those games, in the Coliseum so great, is because, the crowd was just as loud when the Rangers scored as when the Islanders scored, because it literally, every game, it was a 50-50 breakdown of fans in the Coliseum. And I'm not sure if you get that, in any other arena for any other game. I don't know if that happens. Does that happen, for Edmonton, Calgary games? I don't know. Probably not. But that just made that venue so unique during the Ranger Islander games, is just having that breakdown of 50-50 during the games, and it was awesome. And it was I think Long Islanders, we're a little crazy sometimes, so I think it gets a little nutty in the in the Coliseum. We're a passionate bunch, to put it nicely. So I think it got the Coliseum during those games got real raucous. I mean, it was
Raucous.